Well, good morning, conference. I'm Karren Brady. I'm a businesswoman, I'm a business owner, I'm a company director, and I'm a mother of two. A few of you may know me as the woman from the television show who raises her eyebrows a lot in the background, The Apprentice. But I think I'm most well known for my career in football, which started in 1993 when I saw a little advert in the Financial Times. And this advert said football club for sale. I thought it was very interesting. So I phoned up and I got the details, and I went to my chairman at the time, and I said, there's this football club for sale in Birmingham. Why don't you buy it and let me run it? He said, football, Karren? Very male-dominated. You'll have to be twice as good as the men to be thought as even only half as good. I said, well, luckily that's not difficult. He said, go on then, we'll give it a go. And that was on the Friday, and on the Monday we owned a football club. And there I was at a press conference. I was 23 years old. I was desperate to look at least 25. So I turned up with big hair, big shoulder pads, big earrings, and gave my very serious presentation to about 200 press. All very serious. And when I'd finished this passionate presentation of all the business things I was going to do with my football club, I asked the press, any questions? A little hand went up, and I said, yes, sir. He said, what are your vital statistics? Well, guess what? That was 20 years ago. And on that day, I was the very first woman to break into a very male-dominated industry. And I kind of guess I had the last laugh. Because in my first year at Birmingham, we made a trading profit for the first time in the club's modern history. I floated my business on the stock market in 1998, making me the youngest managing director of a PLC in the country. And most proudly, and most importantly, when I sold my business in 2009, 75% of the senior management team running that business were women. Promoting women and equality are issues that are really close to my heart. I believe when I went to Birmingham, someone opened a door for me. And it's my job, and I take it as a personal and professional responsibility, to keep that door open as long as possible and as wide as possible to get as many women through it as possible. And the Conservative Party support my ambition in helping women and, in fact, encourage me in doing so. I'm now the Vice Chairman of West Ham. I came to West Ham when its future was threatened by debt, and I've spent the last 3 years with my board and my team turning that business around. And to do that successfully, you need to have a business plan. You need to set out what you're going to do and how you're going to do it. Last season, we finished 10th in the Premier League, and with a move to a new stadium secure, we're starting to turn a corner. Does that sound familiar? It hasn't been easy. Our economy and our country was hit incredibly hard by Labour's recession. When this government came to power, the deficit was the biggest in our peacetime history, and there was no plan to get on top of debts. The Labour Party spending was out of control, and they'd all but bankrupt the country. For UK to survive financially and not become a Greece, Spain or Portugal, tough decisions had to be made. The current government came in with a plan to deal with our debts and rebuild a different type of economy. That plan has kept interest rates low, which is helping businesses and families up and down the country. This was despite intense political pressure to change course, with Labour claiming that all that was needed for a quick economic fix was even more spending, even more borrowing. Well, David Cameron and Jules Osborne disagreed. They held their nerve and they stuck to the plan. And I hope you can see how right they were. We are now starting to recover. We are turning a corner. Employment is at an all-time high. Unemployment is falling, and factory output and service sectors are rising. But it wasn't just enough to have a plan to deal with our debts. This government supports and champions UK businesses, large and small. Crucially, this Chancellor and this government gets business and helps people who aspire to work and make something of their lives. And they recognise As the economy is turning a corner, it is business that is leading the way. It is businesses that have created 1.4 million new private sector jobs, and it is businesses that are creating the growth and wealth our country need. I passionately believe that small businesses are the lifeblood of the British economy. And many of you here today, I know, are entrepreneurs. And I want to say that I know the sacrifice you make to run a business because I've made it myself. The 60 hours weeks, juggling family life and business life, the boardroom, the sports day. Staying awake at night, worrying about where you're going to get your loans from to grow your business, how you're going to pay your wage bill, when are you going to take on your next employee. I know that when you start a business, you're everything to that business. You're the managing director, the finance director, the marketing director, the receptionist, and you're even the tea maker. And I know that that can sometimes be lonely. But it is this government who stands by you. It is this government that understands without small businesses, Britain would not be what it is today. Which is why I have agreed to become the Conservative Party's Small Business Ambassador. I promise I will do all that I can to help, promote, and listen to the people that don't always have a voice. And I know how vital it is that government supports business wherever and whenever it can by giving us one of the most competitive business tax systems in the modern world, by abolishing Labour's jobs tax and taking a third of employers out of national insurance altogether, by doubling small business rate relief and slashing red tape, by increasing investment in capital projects and protecting the science budget, by raising standards in schools and increasing apprenticeships so we have a better skilled workforce. The Chancellor has shown that not only does he understand how business works, but that without doubt he is prepared to back it. And you know, that's a two-way street. Leadership is practiced not so much in words as in attitude and in action and through character and in trust. The business leaders I meet who run big businesses and small businesses respect George Osborne's leadership. They trust his strategy, and they know that he is tackling the economic problems head-on whilst being determined to reward those who aspire to work hard. So it is my great privilege that I introduce you to the only man that I would happily be an apprentice for. He is the man behind that business plan, the man who stuck to the plan, the man whose plan is dealing with the utter mess he inherited and putting us on the path to a brighter future. He's the right man with the right plan. Ladies and gentlemen, the Chancellor of the Exchequer,